Another brick fan with a LEGO Star Wars review. This is Passana Speeder Chase. This is set 75250, was released in October 2019, has 373 pieces, 4 minifigures, and cost about $40 when it was released. This set is based on the Rise of Skywalker and includes these 2 vehicles and that small little shop that you see there in the back. There are also 4 minifigures that you can see, or 3 minifigures and a BB-8, and we'll go ahead and take a closer look at those here in a few minutes. Let's start with the smallest of the 3 builds that come with this set. This is just a small shop here. As you can see, there's just some various things here. This is a set of binoculars over here. This little box comes off. You could put something in that. There's also a bigger box here in the back that is just on a jumper plate as well. It has a few items in there, like a grappling hook here. There's a shovel, and then here's a little saw piece that's also there, just using a lightsaber hilt kind of as a handle. So maybe representing a chainsaw or some kind of other utility accessory. Essentially just a little tiny background or filler piece that comes with the 2 vehicles that go with it. Having said that, the colors are nice. I like the use of this pale blue and the dark red. I think pair up really well, and then there's just all these little tiny accessories that go with it. Moving on to the first vehicle, this is called a tread speeder. And as you can see, it's got a couple of features where you can lift this up to look at the tread here that is in the speeder. No back wheel, it just kind of rides on this smooth piece here. So maybe in universe that's a grav, anti-grav or something like that, keeps it off the ground. But it is set up to have one of these tread speeder, the tread speeder trooper. You can just sit right in there and run the vehicle. It does, the tread, you need to put a little bit of pressure on the front to get that tread to move, but it does move pretty well. There's a couple of different representations of weapons here in the front. You see this setup here with essentially with a flick fire missile here without any additional pieces on it. There are stud shooters on either side. It comes with these green studs. Some other greebling is done with these 1x1s with a stud on the side. So it's got that angle there, a couple of nougat pieces. I think the colors go pretty well together. The grays and then the light blue or pale blue make for a pretty good look. It's a nice looking vehicle. It's a little, I don't want to say rickety, but it's certainly, there's some motion here in the front. Maybe that's intentional to have kind of some suspension, I guess, with it. To get the treads to move, you really need to drive it from kind of pushing down in the front a little bit. It's interesting that this is kind of on a hinge, which allows you to open this up and see more of the tread. Of course, that would obviously block the driver's view. There is space here in the back, so you could theoretically put another figure back there to ride on. So let's put our jet trooper back there. And then obviously the jet trooper could then take off. I think in the movie there were a couple of these speeders in this scene, and I think each one had 2 troopers on it. So a pretty good little piece. Certainly done efficiently with not a lot of pieces, but it has enough detail and enough usability that it makes for a nice little vehicle. The last piece is kind of this sail barge looking piece, I think. I don't know exactly what it is. It has a couple of these clear 2x2 round pieces with the inverted tiles on the bottom, so it is designed to be floating off the ground. This is the front. As you see here, this is the steering mechanism, and there's like a tiller in the back, kind of like a rudder on a ship, that is made up of 2 pieces actually. Lots of little stickers on here to give it some texturing and some different, so it looks like the paint is scratched, so obviously an older speeder. You can put a figure right here. So if we put Rey here, she could be steering the vehicle from this control right here, which is just done with that antenna piece. See, there is what I think is kind of an engine over here. And then there's some space in here. You could fit another figure in there. BB-8 fit right up front here. I like the colors. This kind of nougat color with the red, I think, turned out nicely. Lots of other just little details like these hoses that are kind of hanging down here. All these rod pieces are used to kind of decorate the speeder. And then the front, kind of these are like stabilizers as well. It's interesting that they used some trailer hitch type pieces here, just as an additional detailing. A pretty nice little, I don't know, sail barge or vehicle that obviously was used in the movie as part of the getaway or the chase scene that this set is based on. Now that we've taken a quick look at all of the different vehicles that are included with this set, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the minifigures. This set has 4 minifigures, 2 of which are exclusive to this set. They include BB-8, Rey, a First Order Jet Trooper, and a Tread Speeder Trooper. The 2 First Order Troopers are actually unique to this set. Here is BB-8, and this is a fairly common piece, and it's been in several Star Wars sets since he was first introduced in The Force Awakens and the associated sets with that. The other 3 minifigures are back here, and we see Rey with her lightsaber with a nice silver chromed or bright silver lightsaber. We have a blaster pistol and a blaster rifle for our 2 First Order Troopers. This Rey is also very common. I've seen in several Star Wars sets as well. Got the good robe, and I like the way the printing works really well all down the legs as well as up on the torso, so it blends really well together. She has the bare arms, which I think are well represented here with the flesh color. Our 2 First Order Troopers are very different, which is good to see. So we have this little red indicator here for our Tread Trooper. So he just has 1, and then where our Jet Trooper has the 2, so maybe that's indicator of rank, perhaps. 2 different style helmets. So this is very similar to the Stormtrooper helmet, but it's actually pushed out a little bit farther in front as a First Order Trooper helmet. And then the Jet Trooper helmet is a completely different style as well. So if we move around these, you'll see all of the detailing on the sides of the helmet. Very thin eye slit here for the Jet Trooper. I like Rey's hair where she's got these multiple ponytails in the back. I think that turned out quite nicely. Good back printing again on Rey. Here's our back printing for our Trooper. Rey does have an alternate expression. Our Troopers do not, and we'll get into what their faces look like. I do like this. I also like how this jetpack piece turned out. There is actually a printed 1x1 tile on the back of this jetpack. It's not quite as big as a Mandalorian style jetpack, but I still think it turned out really nicely. And you can also see the nice back printing there on the back of our Jet Trooper. Moving it back around to the front, as you would expect, these are the angry clone face prints, although they are on this flesh color instead of the kind of darker color that you see in some of the other clone troopers. So even though these First Order Troopers aren't clones, they still kind of have that angry clone face and not necessarily the same clone head as you see from some of the Clone Wars sets. So there's a quick look at the minifigures that come with this set. Let's go back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Overall, I think this is a nice looking set. When we looked at the Jet Trooper, he has this nice little printed 1x1 tile there that goes to the back of his jetpack. And it is kind of a different jetpack piece. I'm used to seeing a lot of the more Mandalorian style jetpacks that you see on well, obviously on The Mandalorian, and you see on Boba Fett as the jetpacks. This one's slightly different. Kind of an interesting mold there. The vehicles turned out well, and I think they are recognizable as the vehicles in the movie. I like the color schemes on both of them, so the gray and blue for the tread speeder, and then the red and browns, or red and the nougat colors there on the barge, or on the sail, on the vehicle raise in, are all very nice. The little booth there, or little shopping center, is kind of, just a little filler piece that goes in there, although it is kind of built pretty cool with those columns that are made out of the antenna pieces and then the lightsaber hilts there to give it a little bit of texture on the top and bottom of those columns. So I think that turned out nicely. As far as value goes, this is 373 pieces, $40, so just over the 10 cent per piece cost. And you do get 3 minifigures and then a BB-8, and it is a Star Wars themed set, so I always expect to pay just a little bit more for those, or a premium for the Star Wars licensing. So I think this is probably a fair price. Always good to get these on sale, and nowadays, since this is a set that's a couple years old but still available, you can probably find some good deals on this set if you look around. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this Star Wars set. I'm going to get started on my next video, and until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I've left a link to my Star Wars review playlist up here on the screen.